The NFL season last year gave us plenty to talk about, but I want to circle back to see who is a genius or who is just straight up delusional. I'm going to be looking at all of the hot takes from the 2024 season on a Reddit page. Hopefully we enjoy this one. Make sure to comment down below your hot takes for the upcoming NFL season. My favorite hot take will be featured in the next video, so make sure to get those in the comments right now. Let's hop right into the Reddit thread. Okay, so we found the page, 2024 hot takes. Let's see what we got. Caleb Williams will be a bust. That's not a bad take. He didn't have a great first season, but I can't call him a bust, but that's not a bad start. Okay. Trevor Lawrence cements himself as the third best quarterback in his own division. He's the second best quarterback in the division. I don't see that one as much of a hot take. A series of crazy events happen where the Raiders take the AFC West crown and the Chiefs miss the playoffs. Okay, that is the most delusional take I've ever seen. I love the ambition, but my goodness, that could not have been further from the truth. What did they end up with, a top 10 pick? That's hilarious. Okay, let's see what else we get. Aiden gets MVP votes too. Okay, Raiders fans, y'all need to get off Reddit. Y'all need to get off Reddit. He had a terrible season. Cousins lights it up and Falcons win a playoff game. Falcons didn't even make the playoffs and Kirk Cousins couldn't make it through the end of the season, but I'm not mad about that take. Texans will take a step back in the standings even though the team clearly got better. Last place to first place scheduling can be jarring. What a good take. They didn't take much of a step back in the standings. Actually, I think they had the same standing as last season, but we saw that they struggled, and I think that they illustrated this well. Last place to first place scheduling can be jarring. This was a good take from MF Price. Shout out to them. I like that take. I like that take a lot. I don't know if I'd say it's a hot take, but they were right. They were right. I don't know if it's a hot take, but something tells me none of the KC's offseason drama matters. Mahomes has a career year statistically, and they three-peat. Honestly, based on what we saw, it ended up being kind of a hot take because Mahomes had maybe his worst statistical season, and they did not three-peat, but they were really close. I wouldn't say that's a hot take. That's like a mild take. Let's see what else we got. Kyle Hamilton wins Depoy. He, in fact, did not win Depoy. He might have been close, though. I'm curious what the rankings were. Someone will have to let me know. Darnold will succeed in the Vikings offense, and they end up winning the North. Well, that's a good hot take. Wow. Whoever said that, what a hot take. I love that one. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, they didn't win the North, but they were really good in the regular season. What a take. I'm not mad about that. Baltimore will dethrone KC, if only. That did not happen. TJ Watt will lead the league in sacks again. Did that happen? Let's see. Who led the NFL in sacks 2024? Trey Hendrickson. Sorry. Wow. TJ Watt wasn't even top 3. Not to poop on him or anything, but wrong. That's not really a hot take either. Now what I'm thinking about, that's not a hot take at all. Eagles seriously hyped up offseason doesn't overcome their end of season collapse from last year, and the Cowboys become the first NFC team since 03 to 04 to repeat as division champions. I don't think it'll happen. I'll just hate everything within a 1,000-mile radius if it does. Go Birds. Wow, that was a bad take. That was a really bad take because not only did the Eagles win the division, they won the Super Bowl. And it sounds like it's an Eagles fan just hedging their bets, but bad take. Sam Howell takes over for an injured Geno Smith by week 8 and never gives the jog back. Geno is traded to the Raiders at the end of the season for a third. Whoa. Okay, they got the team in the third right, just the wrong time and not exactly the situation, but they predicted Geno to the Raiders for a third. What a crazy poll. I'm actually in disbelief right now. I actually thought the same thing. I drafted Sam Howell in my Dynasty League thinking he would take over from Geno Smith, and that did not happen because Geno Smith was a top 10 quarterback last season. Anyways, the Jets make it somewhat close to the playoffs. No, I don't think they even got close. I don't recall. Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy will have 4,000-yard seasons, and the Vikings make the playoffs. Well, Vikings did make the playoffs. J.J. McCarthy didn't play, but Bo Nix had a good season. I'm not sure if he hit 4,000 yards, though. Seattle could make a deep playoff run. That's a hot take, and that one did not happen. Didn't even make the playoffs, in fact. Okay, this guy's got 4. The Chiefs don't three-peat. Correct. Not really a hot take. The Ravens get the number 1 seed again. Not really a hot take, but it didn't happen. The Texans make it to the AFC Championship. Not even close. Well, I guess they were theoretically close. The Detroit Lions defeat the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship to go into the Super Bowl. See, that is a hot take right there. The Lions couldn't even make it to the NFC Championship, and neither could the Packers. Absolutely hilarious. I like that take. None of those were hot takes except for the Texans one, and they got 3 of them wrong. So, hot takes. This is what it is. You're supposed to get them wrong, but it's wild. I feel like I look really bright. I have my light on very bright. I'm sweating. Can you tell? Anyways, moving on to some more hot takes. Raiders equals sneaky contender. What was up with the Raiders love at the start of last season? If you want to have some Raiders love, it should be at the start of this season. The Raiders could be... No, they're going to be the 4th best team in the division, but they could be sneaky. They could win some games. Contenders for the first overall pick. That's so funny. The Chargers legitimately have the worst roster in the NFL. That's a hot take, and they were just wrong. Pierce. Oh, okay. Arizona Cardinals win 10 games and make the playoffs. That's a hot take and did not quite happen. Maybe next season. Despite the offseason woes, the Cowboys still win 11 games and the division. Not even close. Cowboys, that's never a good take. That's a hot take. The AFC South will be the most competitive and entertaining division. If I can remember any of my hot takes from last season, this is one that I definitely put out there. I thought the AFC South was going to be a bloodbath. I thought the Texans were going to be good. The Titans I thought were going to be really good. I thought the Jaguars were going to be good. And the Colts were going to be good. I thought all those teams were going to range between 9 and 11 wins, and that was not even close to the truth. I guess that was a hot take at the time. I thought it was a safe bet, but I was completely wrong. Russell Wilson looks like the old Russell Wilson and wins comeback player of the year. Not quite, man. Not quite. That's a hot take. I like it, but not quite. The Packers will finally get over that 49ers hump and make the Super Bowl. Couldn't get over the Eagles hump, unfortunately. Eagles go 3-14 and are last in the conference. What a take. Look at that, guys. You are actively seeing me fine. Oh, wow. They deleted it. You're looking at me? Find my thumbnail. Look at that. I found my thumbnail. You guys should be proud of me. Anyways, keeping that in the video. That's how I make these videos, in case you're wondering. I just found the thumbnail. Texans have the best offense, are the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. That's a hot take. Multiple people thought that was going to be the case, but nope. Not a good take. Not a good take, but it's a hot take. Lions' 15 minutes of fame are over, and the Packers will be back to owning the North. For the record, I like the Lions, and I hope I'm wrong. Wow. Well, theoretically, they were right. The Lions' 15 minutes of fame didn't last very long in the playoffs, but they were not correct about the Green Bay Packers there. Moving on, Burrow or Allen will stand apart this year. One is bound to light it up and step up to QB2/QB3 or the league. The other will disappoint. In my opinion, the top 3 QBs in the NFL are some order of Mahomes, Jackson Allen, and Burrow. One has to leave the second tier, and I'm biased to leave Lamar in because he and Mahomes are the only MVPs in this conversation. Best case scenario for both. Josh Allen continues to put up dominant stats and win an MVP/Super Bowl. Burrow leads the Bengals past the Chiefs again and brings Cincy their first Lombardi. Worst case for both, Josh leads the league in turnovers and the Bills end the season either missing the playoffs or lost to the Chiefs. Joe isn't quite the same after injury. Well, honestly, he was right about Josh Allen. He put up dominant stats, won an MVP, so in his opinion, Allen would be a tier 2 quarterback, or at least the second best quarterback in the league. And Joe Burrow didn't get past the Chiefs, but he had an excellent MVP caliber season as well. That was a good take. Wouldn't say it's much of a hot one, but it's interesting. Not really a hot take. I see CJ Stroud winning MVP, and it may seem like a weird list, but here's my predicted top 8 QBs based on how I think they will play next year. Stroud, Hurts, Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar, Purdy, Allen, Dak, Herbert, Goff. Those are good guesses aside from Stroud and Brock Purdy. Otherwise, great guesses. AFC West, Chargers 13-4, Chiefs 11-6, Raiders 8-9, Broncos 8-9. The Broncos' disrespect at the start of last season was terrible, and I can't lie, I had them as like a 3-win team, so them making the playoffs absolutely shocked me. Justin Herbert wins MVP. I wish that wasn't a hot take. I want him to win an MVP so bad, but he just is so much a Mr. Hypothetical, dang. Jordan Love MVP season and Houston misses playoffs. The Houston misses playoffs was dangerously close. That's not a bad take, but those were definitely some hot takes. Dolphins finished 3rd in their division. Do I want it to happen? No. Can it happen? Absolutely. Okay, that's not really a hot take. Mike Tomlin's first losing season. See, now that's a hot take, and indeed, as SusGamer93 says, not possible. It's really cool reading all these now 3 months ago. That's literally me, bro. Tampa upsets the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl and shuts down the KC three-peat. Shout out to them for this hot take because the Niners didn't even make the playoffs. I don't know how this isn't even a hot take, but the Chargers will be contending for the first pick. Wow, that is a bad take. They were not even close to contending for the first overall pick. Wow. Worst roster in the league. Insane. That's an insane take. JJ McCarthy becomes QB2 behind Caleb Williams. Also, Sam Howell replaces Geno. Terrible take. The Vikings might be playoff ready. That's a great take. The 2024 QB class will be one of the better QB classes. Definitely facts. Almost every division is pretty much wide open except NFC East and AFC West / East. Well, they were definitely wrong about the East because it was Dallas and Philly and Commanders, but overall good take. Titans go 13-4. Oof. That one might have to be another thumbnail one if I want to include multiple. That's a terrible take. Terrible take. Daniel Jones plays his best season yet with Neighbors, Slayton, and Hyatt emerging as an elite wide receiver core. And get this, guys. That is the end of the list. Which hot take was your favorite? Which one was your least favorite? These takes, they weren't that spicy. There was nothing that crazy. The Raiders' love was a bit odd. The Eagles' hate was weird. The Packers' love was weird. The Texans' hate and love was a bit odd. But let me know again, reminding you, comment down below your hot takes for this upcoming NFL season. My favorite will be featured in the very next video, so keep an eye out for that. Hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I've never made something like this, so let me know if you want to see another video of me going through some funny Reddit posts, whether it's sports, entertainment. Let me know what you all want to see, and until next time, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and peace out, y'all. Thank you so much for watching.